Hi, this is Lori Putnam, and I want to teach you today how to loosen up. I get asked that a lot in my workshops, and so I've gone to the kitchen and just grabbed 3 items that I found really quickly. And I've mixed 8 different colors of paint. This is going to be an 8-stroke painting. Now by brush stroke, I mean basically I'm putting down the brush and I'm just not lifting it up. It's not that I have to do it quickly. I just need to think about what color I could put down in a big mass and mass in as big a shape as possible, join things together as much as possible. The first thing that's going to do is teach you to make bigger piles of paint and to really load your brush. Another thing it does is it helps you simplify things down to their forms that really only have to be said. Not every little thing has to be divided out for people to understand what your painting is about. So I've laid down the bottle and the eggplant all together and even that little line underneath the canister. And now I'm applying the shadow part of the canister and sort of learning a little bit about how the paint mixes. The pressure on the brush is going to change how much I pick up underneath, and that's something else you'll be learning if you do this exercise quite frequently. And so by putting that color on there where the shadow is, as part of it's mixed into the violet underneath and part of it stands untouched. And so thinking about that brush stroke ahead of time and what it's going to do is extremely helpful. You know, a loose painting is not necessarily a sloppy painting. I really think these things out. Now I'm going to add a color here just to separate the front of the eggplant and a little bit of the table. By putting it across the color that I already had on that table, it actually is a little bit lighter on the table than it is on the eggplant part. So again, I'm learning how values change and how laying one paint on top of the other can change the way it looks. But I'm not lifting up my brush. I'm trying to keep this very simple and not get into the details. There's a little bit of light just brushing across the top of that can, so I'm going to put that in. But as I drag it over that bottle, again, I'm using a little bit different touch there, and that makes it still a shadow value. And then I get over to the highlight on the eggplant, and I press a little bit differently, and I get that pressure different to make the light on the eggplant. Now the green part on the front of this bottle is actually reflecting down into the top of the can, and it works really well as a transitional tone on the side of the canister. I like the way those colors are mixing together there. If I separated that into little tiny dabs of one brush, it would be kind of boring, but here it looks really exciting, and again, you're learning a lot about how to make statements very simply, which is the foundational thing to any really good painting, is trying to figure out how to make that statement simply. Put the light on the front of the canister now and scraped a little bit of that paint across on the table, and now I'm coming back with the highlight, and so I've separated light and shadow and even had extra brush strokes to put on the highlight. As I did this experiment on this particular one 3 different times, and I'm showing those to you right now. I like probably this third one the best. I'm not exactly sure why, I just sort of like the flow of it much better. I also did a couple of other examples for you, and I want to show those to you as well. These next ones are extremely crude. That's the point, is that you shouldn't feel too precious about them. You're learning how to make big masses. You're learning how to layer one color on top of another color. You're learning how to use the brush pressure to make different effects with picking up the paint or leaving the paint alone. And then you've got a girl and a horse and a falcon. This next one, I want you to just take a look for a minute at this shape and think about the shape itself, the outline of the shape and what it could be. I've taken the color out of this equation because I want you to see what can happen with just 4 brush strokes, but varying the pressure of the brush to get different values. So here we have this man's face under a hat, and it's apparent that that's what it is. And you will learn so much if you do things like this. So I want you to give it a try. I want you to post them on the Atelier if you do, because I want to see what's going on with you there and where you are. And I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope this will help you loosen up. And until next time, thanks so much.